Hey, this is Chad from Garmin here at the 2018 ATA show in Indianapolis, talking to you today about our Xero bow sight that we just announced. It's a digital bow sight with built-in ranging capabilities. It ranges game targets out to 100 yards, reflective surfaces out to 300 yards. What it basically does, it just allows you, when you line up the pin and a reticle, it allows you to range either at rest or full draw. And that's important because we've solved so many of the aiming problems with other range finding type of sights that are on the market. After you range, it's basically going to give you a pin for that exact yardage to shoot. But you have to set the bow up and calibrate it to your specific shooting form and your capabilities. So you'll set a mechanical pin at 20 yards or 30 yards that's towards the top of the housing, and then you'll calibrate ranges out to as far as you'd like to shoot. So every 10 yards or so, say 30, 40, 50, and maybe 60, you calibrate those ranges and you tell the sight that those are good, and then that allows us to then use our algorithms to detect when you take a 57-yard range or a 37-yard range, we can basically give you that gap pin for a perfect shot. Scanning capabilities, so you press and hold the trigger, and the whole time the trigger is down, you're ranging targets, and then when you acquire a target that you want, you let go, and you'll be presented with that exact pin to shoot for that exact distance. We also have fixed pin mode, so if you choose to use that, a tap of the trigger will toggle you between your ranged pin and your fixed pins. So some hunters like that. Nice feature to know that you've got fixed pins in a situation where maybe there's brush that you can't range through or something of that nature. You can dial up manual ranges, just press and hold left or right, and you can dial up whatever pin you want. And you can also change the brightness setting on the fly with just a tap of the button. I don't know if you can see that getting brighter and dimmer. So you set the brightness to your preference, and then once it knows your preference, it's got an ambient light sensor that will adjust that pin as the lighting conditions change. But if you feel you need a little bit more brightness or a little less brightness in a given situation, you just tap the left or right button a couple times to dial it into where you want it. This is the A1i model that I have here with me today. It's got some other cool features that are really going to change the way you hunt. First one I'll tell you about is it has arrow profiles. So when I click in here, I can have, this is my gold tip 3000 straightness arrow, and I have my hunting arrow that I use, and it's 272 feet per second. It has a different profile. I also have that same hunting arrow, and I put LT on there because I use lighted nocks and it slows it down a little bit. So that allows me to basically change arrows or change my setup without changing sights, and I can load up to 10 of those in there. We've also got laser locate. It's a new feature that works with our Phoenix 5 series watch, as well as our Rhino 750 series and our Oregon 700 series handhelds. And how that works is every range that you take, and every time you take a shot, it stores that information into the sight. And since I know the range, or the sight knows the range, I should say, and we know the compass heading that you were pointing when that range took place, we can send that information over to a GPS-enabled device, and we can create that location away from you. So where you shot the deer, or where you shot the target, where you last saw that animal go into the woods, or where you saw him bed down and you decide to back out and come later. You can store all that information and navigate back to it later when the time is right. Retail price on this is $9.99. If you want to find out more about this site, go to Garmin.com. Thanks for watching.